Okay, let's get started. So again, welcome to today's CAS 360 Lunch and Learn. My name is Anna Nguyen and I am the BGL CAS Desktop Product Manager. So today's session is all about Experiel, how to download the Experiel tool, how to use our CAS 360 Experiel tool to validate and upload the Experiel file to Acura. Just before I move on to the next slide, I just want to mention again that this session is being recorded. You will be able to have a copy of the recording once it's available and it will be sent to your email. Alternatively, you can also check out the BGL community, which is located in CAS 360. I will show you that later on. And you'll be able to see all the webinars that we've conducted in the last year or so. Those are all uploaded in the community, so you'll be able to see that there. Additionally to that, if you have any questions that you want to ask throughout this webinar, please feel free to enter it into the Q&A section down below. I am not checking chat at the moment, so if you do have any questions, please refrain from entering it into the chat box, but please enter it into the Q&A section. I'll be able to see all those questions there and answer it throughout the webinar. If I don't get to it throughout the webinar, I'll be able to answer those questions right at the end. So just bombard me with all the questions that you have related to Xbrl. Okay, let's get started. So the topics that I'll be covering today is related to how to download and install the Xbrl tool from CAS 360, where to locate that in CAS 360 and download and access it from then on. Secondly, how to create and load a new Xbrl file, how to import a financial statement into Experiel using the tagging function, how to upload and validate the file, as well as using the upload tool. So if you have an existing Experiel file that you've received from your accountant or your auditor, you can use our upload tool within our CAS 360 to upload that file to Acura directly without having to open the Experiel tool. Okay, so let's jump into CAS 360. So as I mentioned previously, if you want to have access to all the webinars that we've conducted so far in relation to the learning, in relation to the lunch and learns, as well as the training, you can do so within the community, which is at the top here, and you can access that at any time. And I recommend you to use this community channel on a regular basis. You can post any questions that you have in there, and you'll be able to receive some of the answers pretty quickly from either our team or from other peers that are using CAS 360 as well. Okay, so in order to access Experiel and find where the Experiel tool is, what you need to do is on the left-hand side, you'll click on the Returns tab. In the Returns tab, you'll be able to see all the companies that have their annual returns due within the given period, which is in this filter on the left-hand side here. And in order to download the Experiel tool, if you haven't downloaded it and installed for the first time, you'll need to go into Options on the right and click on Prepare Experiel Financial Statements. What it'll do here is that it'll try to open the Xbrl application. So if it can't locate where it is or it can't find it within your computer, then it'll come up with a message saying that you should download the Xbrl tool. So this process will take roughly around a minute. So we're just going to wait a little bit for that message to come up, and then we'll proceed to download the application. So this is the message that will come up. All you need to do is click on the Download Experiel Tool button, and that will proceed to download it, as you can see at the bottom here. So what you do is that you'll just click on it to open. Here, I'll just click on Run. And then it'll go through the installation process. So what it'll do first is that it will ask you to choose a location where you want to install the Xbrl tool. what I'll do is I'll just install it into my D drive and I'll click into advanced and then click on OK. And here it shows you the actual file path where it will be installed in. If you want to change it, you can click on change path, or alternatively, you're fine with that, click on confirm to confirm that the path is correct. And once it's done that, it'll go through the process of updating and installing all the files necessary. So it's a very quick and simple process of installing the Experiel tool. And this process is vital for you to be able to access the Experiel tool. Once you're done with that, then what you'll need to do is either click on Open CAS 360 Annual Returns or click on Exit. Since I've already got the page up, I'll just click on Exit here. And the next step that you'll need to do is you'll need to go back into Options and then click on Prepare Xbrl Financial Statements. And what it'll do is that it'll go through the process and locate the Xbrl tool. And because we've already installed it, it will open the Xbrl tool for us. So we're just going to wait a little while for it to open. Okay. And here, the first thing that you'll see when you open the Experiel tool is a section where you'll need to enter in your username and the Experiel token key. So the CAS 360 username is the name that you would use, or the email address you would use to log into CAS 360. Here I've got my email address entered already. Regarding the Experiel token key, you can locate this key by clicking on the link provided to you. So here I've got my link. So all I need to do is click on that link here and it'll open the page that will locate where the Experiel tool is. In this case, what I'll do is I'll just, got a missing number here, 9. I'll validate. And I'll wait for it to load up for me. Usually it doesn't take a long time. Let me have a look here to see the process. It might have frozen on me, so I might need to restart it again. All right. All right, give me 1 second. Let me close the window. So we've got a question here that asks that can the Experiel tool that we have upload directly to Acura like the BizFin tool? Yes, it is correct. You can definitely upload it directly to the BizFin tool from our tool here, directly to Acura from our tool. Okay, so let's restart the process. So I'm going to go into Options and then click on Prepare Xbrl Financial Statements. And this will open the Xbrl tool. All right, so I'm just going to check on something first. All right, let's try that again. Right, there's a little bit of a technical difficulty, but however, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the upload process first before I jump onto the Experiel tool. So let's say that you have a file that you received from an accountant or an auditor that has been completed, and that is an Xbrl file, and you want to upload that to Acura. You don't need to use the Xbrl tool to do any changes, etc. What you can do is use our upload tool within CAS 360. So in order to access that, it is also in the Returns tab. What you'll need to do is go into options and click on the last option, which is upload Xbrl financial statements. What it'll do here is that it'll find and locate the authorized agent. If there is no agent attached, then it will go ahead and try to give you access to the login page to log into SingPass. So I'm going to wait for this process. What I'll do is I'll just refresh this screen and restart it again. Okay, so there's some issues that we have at the moment. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second while I change this. All right, it seems like it's working again. All right, let's share my screen again. Sorry about that. There's a few technical difficulties. All right, so we'll go into upload Experiel financial statements in here. I'll go, there is some difficulties that we have here. I apologize. Okay, I'll go into settings first. All right, so I'm going to eliminate that upload process and go through that afterwards, but looks like our Xperia tool has decided to open for us now. Okay, so let's go back to the Xbrl tool. As I mentioned previously, if you don't know where to locate the Xbrl token, then you click on this link here, and that will allow you to go into the page necessary to find the token. So here I'm going to log in to BGL, select the firm that I want to locate where the key is. This is not relevant for you because usually you'd only have one firm available. And in this process here, you'll be able to see at the bottom, Singapore Experiel token. As you can see here, what you'll need to do is you'll need to generate a token if you're doing it for the first time. Here, I'm just going to regenerate and click on copy. I'll go back into the Xbrl tool and paste the copied key and then click on validate. As you can see, it says Xbrl financial statements for this firm here. Make sure that this firm is the correct firm, or else you'll be generating an Xbrl file for a company that won't exist. Once you do that, click on the tick icon to confirm that is the correct one, and then click on save. All right. So once you've saved, you'll be able to see that the company you're generating the Xbrl file for at the top of the screen there. And also the username that you're logged in as, because this will keep track of who's generating the Xbrl file and who will be validating it and uploading it to Acura. So there's a question regarding the features that are similar or in comparison to BizFin. So I will be going through that today as well. So just hold on tight and I will show you what are the differences we have from BizFin compared to our Experiel tool. So if you're generating an Xbrl file for the first time, what you'll need to do is click on the new icon, and what it'll do is that it'll come up with the relevant taxonomy for this company. As you can see in the disclosure of filing information, that is the first thing that you'll usually enter into BizFin. What we have here is that all the information that we already have stored in CAS 360 will display directly into this screen. So you don't need to enter it in again. So it eliminates any double data entry for you. So I've got the name of the company already entered, the UEN. The current period end date is taken from the financial year end date of the company that you've entered into CAS 360 for that company. And we determine, based on this current period end date, what the current period start date and prior period start date would be. Of course, if that is not the correct dates, you'll need to amend it on this screen. If you go further down, what you'll need to do is same thing as the BizFin tool. You need to select the type of Experiel filing. We have full Experiel, simplified Experiel, and the 2 financial statement highlights. Most of the time, most companies will be small companies. If you're looking at like any other companies that require full Experiel, you need to select full Experiel, but most companies nowadays will opt for simplified Experiel. So once you select an option in this drop-down, what you need to do is click on the tab icon, and this will change the taxonomy straight away for you. And usually this process takes about less than like 5 seconds or so forth. If you were to make these changes into the BizFin tool, you might have to wait a little longer than that, maybe 30 seconds while it does its change. So now that I've changed simplified Experiel, I'll need to go through and make sure everything else is correct. It's also pre-filled in the principal activities that I've added into CAS 360 and the principal place of business. So those items I don't need to re-enter again because those are already saved, have already been saved in CAS 360. If this company is a subsidiary, you can enter in the parent entity name as well as an ultimate parent group as well in this section here. So anything that is asterisked in red is mandatory, so that needs to be filled in, and that will be applicable to all the other statements and notes in the section on the left-hand side. So once you fill in this information, you can click on Next at the bottom right-hand corner, and this will take you to the next screen to fill in the next information. However, if you want to jump around to different statements, you can do so by clicking on the report that you want to work on next on the left-hand side. So you can click around and generate or enter in any information as you see fit. We do have the option to add in footnotes. So if you were to add in a value in this screen, what you can do is right-click on that field and click on Add Footnote. So here is where I can add a footnote. Once you've done that, just click on the tick icon and you will be able to see that the field has turned green. So if you load a file, whether it be a BizFin file or a CAS Experiel file into Experiel tool here, then anything that turns green, or anything that shows in text in green, will have a footnote. And you can definitely just see it by clicking on the Add Edit Footnote there. And if you want to delete it, just right click and click on Delete Footnote, and that will remove the footnote for you. Another thing that is very niche about our statement of financial position here is that we do calculate the out of balance amount. So if you're entering things manually and you do so by just entering it in by looking at the financial statements next to you or on your other screen, there may be issues or there may be human error that you've overlooked. What we'll do here is that before you even validate the file, you will be able to see whether you've entered everything in correctly. And I've seen instances in different notes where clients have entered in or a 6.7 instead of a 7.6, for example, and that will throw out a validation error. With the statement of financial, it's easier to check those errors because we know that the statement of financial position needs to balance at the end of the day. So in this case, you'll be able to see firsthand before you validate if you've entered in everything correctly. In addition to this, you'll be able to see fields, which are total fields that are darkened here. This means that they're uneditable fields. It also means that it'll calculate the totals for you automatically. So you don't need to enter in those amounts. So that's throughout each statement and note that you'll see. So for example, statement of financial position, income statement, we've got the trade and other receivables, trade and other payables, revenue, and so forth. So what you're currently looking at is just a simplified Experiel file. If you were looking at the full Experiel, you will notice that there are a few more statements and notes that you'll need to fill out. So under statements, you'll need to fill out the statement of cash flows, which is only 3 items, which is really good. The previous taxonomy, you needed to fill in much more information, but now they're wanting to make it more simplified, even for the full version of Experiel. So it's much more easier for you to enter in information and much more quicker for you as well. We've also got other notes such as property, plant and equipment. We've got intangible assets, right of use assets, and so forth, loans and borrowings, etc. So some of them that are not highlighted are not mandatory. Others that are highlighted are mandatory reports and notes that you'll need data in. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is that if you're generating a financial statement or an Xbrl file for a company for the very first time, so the company is brand new and you're generating an Xbrl file for that, then you don't need to enter in a prior period start date. So just remove it from here, click on tab, and then it will only allow you to fill in 1 column. And the process is very quick. Usually if you were to do this in the BizFin tool, then it will just go through and start, you have to wait for about 20, 30 seconds for it to change things in the Excel spreadsheet in order for you to fill in that detail. All right, the next thing I want to show you is how you would use an Experiel or a financial statement to upload and flow through information from that financial statement into the Experiel tool. So the first thing you'll need to do is in the import tools, you'll need to go into import. And in the screen here, you'll be able to see on the right-hand side, the drag and drop source table. So what this means is that you can drag and drop or copy and paste a table into this field, and then it will try to locate the names of those tags and match it with what we have in the taxonomy. So I'll show you a little example. So here we've got the financial statement of ABC Proprietary Limited. So what I'll do is that I'm going to copy a part of the table, which is, for example, the statement of financial position. I'll copy the whole table, Control C, and then go Control V. Oh, whoops, my bad. What I'll do is I'll just, as you can see in my financial statements, I'll show you the error. So in my financial statements, we have 2021 and 2020. So that's 2 columns, right? But in this case, what we have here is we only have 1 column because I've removed the prior period start date. So we only have the 2021 column, as you can see here. So I'll need to fix that first. So I'll go into Home, click on New, and I'll create a brand new file. Perfect. So now if I go back into the statement of financial position, I have my 2 columns. So that's what is nifty about this tool, is that it tries to locate and make sure that we have the correct table number in order to use the import tool. So I'll just paste that right there again by clicking on Control V. And here is where it tries to match the label that we have in the financial statement to the label that the taxonomy has given us. So the only label under matching reports that matches is share capital, and it tries to match it word by word. So in this case, what I'll do is that I know that the share capital is supposed to go in the statement of financial position, which is in this screen here. So all I need to do is click on import all, click OK. And what it'll do is that it'll import the share capital for me. And you can see already at the bottom, because this is the balance sheet, that it's showing the out of balance amount automatically for us. So what do we do with the others that doesn't match word for word? So with profit and loss accounts, we know that this is related to accumulated profits. So in this case, what we do is we click on the wording on the right-hand side, drag it all the way to where it should be. Don't drag it to the actual fields itself, but drag it to the label and then release. And then you'll be able to see that we've dragged across the company label, as well as the values for 2021 and 2020. So all we need to do is do the same for everything else. And you might think that this is a cumbersome process, but you only really need to do this once for this company or for a type of company. Because once you've done it once, what you can do is save the labels and load it in the next time you do this Xbrl file again for this company. So I'm just going to quickly do that, quickly drag and drop, and you'll be able to see there is no out of balance amount at the end. The reason why I haven't dragged across net current assets is because the net current assets has already been calculated for me, as you can see at the bottom. So if you see here, so this field here, I don't need to drag and drop. So when I mentioned that you can save these company labels, what I mean is that, let's just say I've done this process, drag and drop everything already. I'm going to click out of the import tool. Once I do that, all I need to do is click on Save Company Label Template. Here I've got a few templates already. I'm just going to call this Accountant 2 and then click on Save. So let's pretend that I've completed this Experiel file for this company for the 2021 year, and I want to work on the 2022 year. I'm going to do a brand new file for this company. Make sure everything in the filing information is correct. Once I do that, I'll go into the import tools and then click on Load Company Label Template. In here, I'll double click on Accountant 2. When you load in a company label template, it'll clear all the existing labels that you've entered in. Since I haven't entered in anything for this one, I'll click on Yes to confirm. And then if you have a look at the statement of financial position, you'll be able to see the company labels already there. And what does this actually mean? What this means is that when you do the import again, providing that it comes from the same accountant, it'll automatically match against the company label. So you can see under matching reports, all these fields are already matched. So how this process is that the label that they're trying to match first would be the company label that has been entered. If there is no company label, it'll try to match the label of the taxonomy. So all I need to do is click on Import All, click on OK, and it'll transfer all the values over to the screen on the left-hand side. So as I mentioned, if you have a group of companies that use the same company labels under the same accountant or the same auditor, then once you set this up, it will be such a simple process for you to import from a financial statement. It will make the process a lot more quicker. Another thing I wanted to show you on this screen, especially for the statement of financial position, is where to add in notes. So you can click on the notes on the left-hand side to add in notes, or you can do so within the statement of financial position page and click on add note. And this will take you straight to where you need to add in those fields. Let's say you want to go back to the previous report you were on. Instead of going and clicking it on the left-hand side, you can just click on previous report at the top, and this will take you straight there. Another thing I wanted to show you is a few settings. So at the top, we've got a settings page or settings option where it has a few things that you can amend or change within this screen. The one thing that get asked quite often is the 1000 separator. So by default, this will be unticked. However, if you want it, you can definitely tick this option, then click on the tick bar. Click on yes, and then it will make the changes for you, and you'll be able to see there is a comma there. There's a few other options in the settings dialog here that you can have a look. For example, some printing settings and other settings as well. If you want to print out a report of all the statements and notes, you can do so by clicking on print reports. You can print out an AGM copy if you've entered it into the full set of financial statements, or you can generate an Xbrl document summary, which is the CAS version of the PDF statement. So what I'll do is I'll tick that option and click on the TV screen, and you'll be able to see here, this is where the filing information and the details are shown. So the only details that we've entered is in regards to the statement of financial position. Therefore, the only details are shown is this report here. Okay, so that's just a snapshot of the Experiel tool. What you can do, for example, if you want to save the process and you want to go back to it on a later stage, you can do so by clicking on the save icon, click on export only, and you'll be able to see, I'll just go into Xbrl files, you'll be able to see that the file name will have the company name, the UEN, and the financial year end date as well. So it's easier to locate. Easy to locate and find the Xbrl file that you need to reload in. So as I mentioned, what you need to do is, if you have a file that you generated within BizFin tool or within CAS 360, you can definitely load it in this tool. It doesn't have to be the CAS desktop or CAS Xbrl version to be uploaded here. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is how to validate and upload the Xbrl file. So once you've finished entering all the data that you need and you want to validate the file, before you click on anything, you'll need to go back into CAS 360 and authorize the agent. So you need to go into this screen here. I'm just going to refresh for now. Fingers crossed that this works for me. We'll go into settings on the bottom left-hand corner. Perfect. And then we'll click on Authorize Agent. What it'll do is that it will locate and it will authorize the agent for you. And this is a process that needs to be done before you validate the Xbrl file. So enter in the SyncPass details or use the SyncPass app to log in. Once you log in, it'll ask you to authorize. All you need to do is click yes and consent. And then it'll take you back to the CAS 360 screen. All right, now you can see that we've got our agent already authorized. The next thing you want to check as well is that the agent is linked to the company that you're generating the Experiel file for, or you're validating the Experiel file. So to do this, go into the company selection screen. Click on the company that you're doing the Experiel file for. And next to registered filing agent, make sure you attach the agent there. So that's another thing that you need to look out for as well. So once those two items are done, go back into the Xbrl tool and click on Validate and Upload. So now what it'll go through is that it'll go through the validation process first. It will check for any genuine errors, any possible errors, any exemptions before you'll be able to upload. So of course, if you have any genuine errors, you will not be able to proceed further. But if you have any possible errors or genuine errors that are exempt, then you can move forward from there. So here we'll wait for the file. And as you can see here, we do have a few validation errors, as expected, because we haven't finished entering all the information in. So to view the Xbrl errors, you just click on that option there. I'm just going to show you that again. That was pretty quick. Click here to download and view validation errors. What it'll do is that it'll download the Xbrl spreadsheet. So I'll go into here. And it'll open an Excel file for you. So to see all the genuine errors, you'll need to click on this option here, and you'll be able to see all the genuine errors showing down below. And if there's any possible errors, you'll be able to see it in the next tab. So I've got another question. So I understand that the Experiel tool or the BizFin tool doesn't require an agent number or a filing agent to upload. Currently, this is a process that is required for third-party providers. Therefore, it's not something that we can skip over, unfortunately. But once you do this, you'll be able to have access to Experiel and do this process for half an hour without having to revalidate the agent. It's a very similar process to the BizFin tool, but that's just the only additional step that you need. So another thing that is provided is the PDF review copy. So what we'll do here is we'll click on that option, and this is downloaded directly from Acura themselves. So we don't generate this file, they send it to us and we display it for you. And then you'll be able to see a copy of what you've entered in and so forth. Okay, so let's show you a file that has no genuine errors. So I'm going to click on New. I'm going to upload and open a file that already exists. And this file, I've entered all the information in already. So I've entered in a lot of dummy data that is necessary and required. And what I'll do is I'll click on Validate and Upload. So it'll go through the process again of validating, and it should show up in the next screen, hopefully, that there are no genuine errors. Okay, so there are, so I'm just going to check them again. So we'll open the Excel spreadsheet. We'll have a look. Okay, so it looks like there are a few errors here. What I'll do is I'm just going to quickly exit out and click on no. And then reopen again. So this is something that you don't need to worry about. Okay, so I'll redo that process again. I'll click on open. I'm gonna go into my Xbrl files, reopen my file, and then revalidate. If you revalidate a file that you validated before, it will be quicker because the validation file already exists. If you make any changes after you validated it, then it will go through the validation process again. So it might take some time there. So as you can see here on this screen, we've got an information pop-up that says that validation is a success. There is only possible errors. If you want to fix those possible errors, you can definitely do so by clicking on this option to view those errors. And also you can click on the PDF review copy to have a copy of the Xbrl file in a PDF format as well. Once you do that, then you can just tick on this option here. I confirm that the Xbrl data is accurate and complete. And once you tick that option, then you can click on upload, and this will upload directly to Acura. If you don't tick this option, then you won't have the option to upload. All right. I am not going to upload now because this file has already been uploaded, and this will give me an error once I upload again. So that is just a snapshot of our Experiel tool here. I was in the process of showing you our upload tool, so I'll do that now. So as I mentioned, if you have a file already on hand and all you need to do is upload that file to Acura, then you can do so in this screen here. So what you'll need to do after you've already authorized the agent, go to options, click on upload Xbrl financial statements, and in this screen here, you can drag and drop or select a file that you want to upload. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll go into my files, select a file that I want to upload, click on validate and upload to Acura. This will go through the same exact process that it did within the Xbrl tool. So it might take around 10 to 15 seconds to actually go through the validation process. So if you don't generate Xbrl files and you receive Xbrl files from a third party, then you can just go through this process. You don't need to download the Xbrl tool itself. As you can see here, we've got a file with only possible errors. If you want to see those errors, you can click on this validation result file to download. And further at the bottom is a PDF copy of the Xbrl file. So you can either print it or download it however you'd like. And just by viewing it, you can just drag the cursor down or scroll down to view the file that you have. So this file, as I mentioned, is sent by Acura, so it's not something that we generate ourselves. Once you confirm that everything is okay, then all you need to do, similar to our Experiel tool, is toggle on this option here, or mandatory field, I should mention. I confirm that the Xbrl data is accurate and complete. Once you toggle that on, then you click on Upload to Acura. So what I'll do is I'll just click it anyway. I'll select my agent. And then you'll be able to see at the top, looks like I haven't uploaded this file, and it says your Xbrl file has been successfully uploaded. Please proceed to lodge the file as part of the annual return. If you've already uploaded this file and you try to re-upload again, an error message will come up saying that's already been uploaded. All you need to do after that is click on OK. And then the next step that you'll probably need to do is generate the annual return documents and file the annual return. We have a question, do we need the filing agent to upload the Experiel to Acura? Yes. Yes, you do. Yeah. So in the settings tab, I've already got the filing agent authorized. So let's revoke the authorization here. So I haven't authorized the agent, and I'll go into the upload tool again. Remember, it's options, upload Xbrl financial statements. What it'll do is that it'll take you to the SingPass screen. So you'll need to authorize the agent first, and then it'll take you back to that screen to upload. So here I log in. It'll take a second or two to go through the process. I'll consent for permission. We'll authorize the agent, and then it'll take you back to upload screen. And this is the process where you just drag and drop or select a file to upload. So that is the process of the upload file, or the upload of Experiel file directly from CAS 360. So that comes to the end of my presentation. If you have any other questions, please feel free to enter it into the Q&A section down below. I will stay around for a couple of more minutes to answer any of your questions. But other than that, I just wanted to say thank you for coming to the Lunch and Learn sessions for CAS 360. We hope we can give you more insight to other topics in the later stages, but please keep an eye out on any emails for any other additional webinars that we will release in the future. And if you have, or if you want to do further training for CAS 360 or Experiel specifically, please reach out to our team in Singapore and they'll be able to assist you on that. So once again, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.